Let's come together in prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Father, not allow us to lead ourselves into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, the glory. In Yeshua's name we pray. Thank you, Lord. Now, we come to you today, humble under you, Father, and we determination on being closer to you and to try to explain of who is the real enemy, who is the person that's really attacking us, trying to destroy us. Is it the straw man? Is it the government? Or who is these people that's trying to take from us? Now, if you think about it, as I think about it, right? Everyone is taking from us. Like physically, if you look around us, that everyone is taking. You might see the things they're giving, but they're not giving nothing that we could not have compensated for ourselves or found a way of around it. They're physically putting us in a rotation of having to do these things and certain things that they will even find us, or they will some manipulative way to overcome what we're trying to do. So as you think about this, right, even if you go so far as doing all of these things and living well, right, is that enough? Is that enough just to line your pockets in knowing that these people can come take something from you or do this at any time, that something is never really yours? And to say that we live in a land of the free, is it really the land is free because it's not ours? If that's the comprehension of the determination of the conversation. So as we try to reflect on ourselves, right? And we look at ourselves, because before we can point the fingers at other people, we have to look at ourselves. So we make sure ourselves is at a standard for someone to look towards or see what you're saying. You're not just speaking these things, you're physically doing them. So if you're a person that's a doer, right, and you see that someone is out to get you or in a particular way trying to overcome you in a situation, so you be in a situation, one person that's alone, but imagine, oh, I can only imagine this day when it comes that you have a group, or you have a certain limit of people, right, to your disposal that you can actually call on in this situation and actually put to a certain, like assumingly it would be the police that you would call in this situation, but they don't have the tenacity or the confrontation in the situation to understand that it's a way to handle this, and they cannot comprehend it to understand that they can't even make a change because the real change comes from the court system that's not really even given until later. That's why back in the days, if you can hold off for a minute and go back to the Moses days, when Moses was leading the people out of Israel, his I think it was his father-in-law that came to him, and he told him that you can't do all this yourself. You need people to be in these points, so they will be able to do things. Like you can come to them for this and them for this. So that's what they try to portray America as someone that you can go to these different places for help and situations. But in the perfect way of Moses days, he had you at this stature, and these people at this stature, and then the people reported back to him. So, and he physically, with the Lord confirmed this, made the decision. If it's a bigger decision that that it wouldn't be handled, but he had people around him that he can trust, and that's what I want to get into with you guys next time. We're so at each other's throat that we can't trust each other until we get down this ego, this self worth. Say it like that. This self worth that you feel that you can do it all or your family can do it all, and don't know if your family, if your community isn't right, your family isn't right. Because if your community is going to corrupt someone in your family. Someone in your family is going to lean into this other way of life. They're going to think that there's going to be parties, it's going to be drugs, it's going to be all these things. But what they're going to do is misuse these products. And then when they misuse these products, they're going to be put into a state where they can't develop. And if you can't develop, you're no different than a child that can't learn, that can't push to a certain place in their life where they can't determine their reflections of what they're done. See, if you feel that you did what you're doing is not bad, right, in your brain, right, put it in someone else's shoes and see if are you hurting anyone? Are you putting someone at risk? Right? So if you're worrying about yourself, you got yourself straight, okay? So if your neighborhood isn't straight, you're corrupting yourself by putting people in this neighborhood. Let me go ahead and tell you that. Even if the neighborhood is rich, poor, if your neighborhood is not right, if your neighborhood is full of tax evasions and all of this stuff, man, you're still in the same predicament you're just in a different class of this. And tell you the truth, they're taking more money from you than they're taking from me. So who is really getting robbed here? So as I think about these things and reflect on these things, the only thing I can come to a conclusion is we work together. If we work together to change our community, to change the path of our community. Now that doesn't mean just go out here and give a couple things away and expect them to be good to the next year. You have to do these things repeatedly. You have to work with these people. You have to become these people to get them out of poverty. And you be like, why do I have to become these people? Why do I have to try to help these people in so many ways that some of them are unable to help themselves? Some people are so tied down that they can't get some people can't handle three things. Some people can't handle two, and some people can't handle one. Now, is this these people? It's just the situation, and my father has people in these situations, so we can take out our time to help these people and put these people out of the level that we're on or headed to the level that we're trying to get to. And even if you have to push them ahead of you and they get there before you, should you be shameful? No, you should be grateful that you helped someone and you're still headed there. That they haven't corrupted you, that you did not make it to where you was trying to get to. Now saying that you have to have some type of dignity in yourself, that some type of self-worth. If you have some type of self-worth, you will have some type of understanding. And if you have understanding, oh man, blessed be your soul. The only understanding that I can give you, the only wisdom that I understand in my whole 30 years is Christ. That's the only wisdom I can give you for you to understand, because he is the true teacher. I can only lead you to the teacher for you to learn. I can only bring you to the class. I'm the person that helps you get to your class. I'm not the person that teaches the class. I'm the person that helps you get to your class. So if you come to get to this class, you can't come to learn from me. You learn from the Father. You take what I tell you and you go to the Father and confirm it, and then go with your will. Because his will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. And this is what I believe. This is what I confirm into. And it have molded my life to perfectness. Now, if you understand that no one is perfect on their own, but if you requires the tool that gives you perfectness, right? Like if a tool is made imperfect, right? And like some tools, like a wrench, like a part to a wrench is made in, it's made without that wrench. You can use it in another form or another state probably, but that's what that's for. Without this, is no use for this circle object. You can put it on the top of that wrench head as much as you want, but it won't turn for you unless you add something to it. Like physically, we need to add the Lord to everything we do, so we'll be able to turn. So we'll be able to make it, man. Did y'all get that what I just said? Let me tell you again. You need the Lord to be that extra piece that helps you turn, because that's all we are, is the wrench. We can't do nothing ourselves. We physically need the Lord. And you might say, oh, I can do it myself, or Lord gave me the power to do it myself. No, he gave you the will to do it yourself. But he gives you the power to do it yourself. Can you hear it again? He gives you the will to do it yourself. But he said, look to me for the power to do it. He said, you have no power to turn your hair white or black. He said, but from the power of the Father that dwells through us, through him, from him, oh man, we could do all things. We will be able to say, mountain, may you be moved, and it will move and be cast into the sea. This is the facts. So we're asking the Lord now, but you got to understand, we're asking the Lord now to move this mountain, move this mountain, move this government that have put us in bondage. And see, when everyone understands that we're all in bondage, can I get someone to understand that we're all in bondage? Every woman, every man, every person that is not connected to the straw man is in bondage. And tell you the truth, you're all connected to the straw man. So you're all in bondage. You heard me, in a way that even the straw man probably turned to his brother and tell his brother to pay a tax. That's how wicked the straw man is. That it probably his brother won't be able to walk for free. That he's going to have to do something, some type of sacrifice. But if you come to my Lord, his yoke is easy. His yoke is light. His yoke, feed my sheep, is his yoke. And that's his yoke for you guys, man. He loves you so much. He loves you more than you can love yourself. You might not believe these things, man, but I'm telling you, man, who else will love you if he don't love you? You say your parents love you, man. I promise you, man, every life of someone's life, they have seen a neglection from somewhere, a part of their family, or a turn away. And if they haven't, glory be to the Lord. But if physically understand that we are people that sin, we're born into sin, we continue to sin, and unless we know the Lord, we're not going to be able to tear ourselves from these things, to turn to him. And you probably be like, why would I need to turn to him? Because it will save your soul. It will save your life. It will put you on a path where life in itself will change for you. It will put you on a path where change is going to happen, because if change does not happen, you guys, his word will be false. And before a jot of his word, can someone hear me? Before his word be gone away physically, you have to understand that he would not let that happen. So even if it's not the best for you, because his word says it, he will give it to you. Because he understands that even if you ruin it, like it brings me back to when the two brothers, and the brother took his inheritance and left, and then came back, and when he came back, the brother was envied, but the father was happy, and the father turned to the other brother and said, why are you envied? He said that, son, you will have everything I have. You will have you own everything I have. You have stayed with me. I am so appreciative to you. All these cows and stuff you want to sacrifice with your friends, all of them are going to be yours. He said that these houses that you worried about, all of them are yours. He said all these slaves and brothers, even your brother will work for you. I have made the stone the cornerstone, the stone that you rejected, the cornerstone. Physically, the Lord knows. He knows your weaknesses and he knows your strengths. He knows what brings you closer and what draws you away. But he don't draw you away. He only gives you things to bring you closer. Yes, he allowed things to happen to us, because you have to understand, if he don't allow these things to happen to us, how will we know real pain to understand the term that we need something? Like physically, if you do not understand, like, if you go into a pot and try to season your pot, right, and you're missing one ingredient, right? You heard me? You look through your pot, and before you start cooking, if you like me, before you start cooking, you look at all the stuff you need for the cook. You don't just start cooking. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't supposed to start cooking without having all your ingredients. You don't just start pouring stuff into a pot, and then you find out halfway through that you don't have this ingredient. If you're a wise man, will have all his ingredients at first, and then move on. Then start with his product. Start with the cooking and doing this, and then the other person. And my mama taught me something too, that how all food can be done at one time and all be hot and be served, right? So when she taught me that, I was like, oh man, that's nice. That physically, that's tight. That everything is being served. But then it brought me to another point to understand that everything is not going to be when in your time frame. It's not going to be on your schedule because we're not on our schedule. And then I go to a point of worrying about people dying. I went through a very strange time then because I was so worried about people. So now I come to a term. Well, I never really worried about people because I always believed in the resurrection. But that don't stop the tears, the sorrow, the mist. But then you come to the Lord and say, I miss the Lord. I miss the Lord. But you can't miss your friend. You don't, but I tell you strong that when I go to that broke down moment of losing someone, I call on the Lord and I say that He lives for me. He lives for me, He lives for me, He lives for me. See, if you keep that in your head that He lives for you and He shall do everything He said, oh man, you will go so far in life. Life would not be able to hold you back from anything. And this is what I feel, man. I feel if I would have turned around a while ago, if I would have stopped turning from Him, because I kept on turning around, you guys, like physically turning around. And as I come to see how the government treats us and how the police treats us and how people treat each other, I come to see now that physically that people are wicked. People are, and then I come to see this other light of people. There's people that had this pain in them at one time, but now then rebirthed themselves and came into Christ, and now they have been renewed, and now they won't hurt no one. They will intentionally go to this person and love them with so much love that the Father have given them. There's so much passion that He have forgiven them. And see, when you learn that the Father forgiven you, man, how much more would you forgive? If you really understand, if you really comprehend that He died for you, that He didn't do all that for Him, not for His justification, but for us, that everything He did was for us. When if you look at it like you be like, oh man, I love my parents, they raised me, man, they took care of me, they fed me. Man, this person created you so your parents can do everything they did. If He didn't do it, if the Lord didn't do what He done, then no one else would have been done. If the Father haven't done what He done, none of this would be done. Like physically, the Father is the power that gives us strength, that gave the Word strength, that gave. He is the Word that became flesh. Physically, man, like physically, He gave it. He gave it a duty, and that's what it does. But then it comes to, man, it killed me when Jesus said, when you thought Jesus was asking for not to drink this cup, right? Did I have to drink this cup? I was thinking like, oh, maybe the Lord didn't want to do it, maybe He didn't want to go, but He didn't want to leave us. He didn't want to leave you. He said He was here saving people. He was doing it, man. He didn't want to leave. He was like, man. And my Father probably said, I know you can do it. I know you could probably go through there and wipe everybody clean and do it, make everybody turn around. But let me tell you something. That's not in my plan. That's not in my plan. So, and He didn't even get an answer. The Father didn't even have to tell Him that. He said, but let your will be done. Before the Father probably can utter out His mouth, before the words can come out of His mouth, let your will be done. And surely it was. He turned to Him and said, I glorify me so the Father can go. And the Father, I have already glorified myself. He have glorified Himself through the Son that died on that cross for us. That's His glory, because His glory is our salvation. Can someone understand that His glory is our salvation? Because who wants to look at their son and be a rapist, a killer, a murderer, or a thief, or someone that doesn't have, someone that's in poverty, someone who wants to see their son like this? But if I carry my son bags the whole time, how do my son get any type of intolerance of be able to carry his own weight? So as the father look at us, yes, well, I'm gonna put you down here so you can walk the walk. But then I'm gonna send my only begotten to show you how to walk and talk. You think you got it. You think you walking. You think you talking. But let me show you the way you were supposed to do. Let me show you the path, the route you were supposed to go. Let me show you the tools you were supposed to use. Can somebody hear me here? Like physically. These are the things that the Lord understands us to understand. When we come at him with worship and praise and fasting, oh man. I'm telling you, man. Why nobody didn't tell me the gates of life, man? I've been doing it my whole life, man. I've been doing it since young. That's the rules of life, man. Fasting, prayer, fasting and prayer, because we're already lost. See, if we wasn't lost, if we was not lost, if we wasn't lost, you guys, what would we have? What would we achieve if we wasn't lost? What would be life? But you guys, I want you to understand that this is about our community. This is about everyone. I'm not talking to no Pacific color. I'm talking to you all. I'm not talking to a Pacific race. I am talking to everyone. I'm not talking to a Pacific country. I am talking to all of you. In a way, in some type of way, your government have portrayed you. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened. It probably always have happened. But assuming that your government have portrayed you, these people around you have portrayed you, your parents have portrayed you, your brothers that's older than you that know this before you have portrayed you, they all have portrayed you, they all have walked you down this path. And this is facts. I'm not judging these people, but I'm telling you facts that they have betrayed you. They have betrayed us. They have betrayed all of us. They have betrayed my Lord. The worst thing they have done of them all. But they have betrayed us all. They manipulate us and think this is a way of living. This is not. And we have pretended and we have put ourselves in a way to think that this is a way. Physically. They physically think this is the way. This is a way to go. Father, and I come to my Father, glory be to your name, Father, that we need that we need a name. We need a word right now. And Father, and I said that, and now I see it all over America. Glory be to the Lord, man. Y'all, I see it all over America. They're changing. He's changing. He's changing people. He's answering our prayers because we're not praying for ourselves. If you're like me, you're praying for your brother and your sister, man. We're not praying for things anymore, you guys. We're not praying for money. We're not praying for cars. We're not praying for these things. We're praying for our brother and our sister to be saved. I'm praying for the people that don't believe in God. I'm praying for these people. I'm praying for the people that don't believe in the Son, that He is the only way. Someone need to hear this. He is the only way. You will not make it to the Father unless you go through Him. If you're a sinner, if you're without sin, yeah, you don't need Him. But who here is without sin? Who can cast that first stone? I can't. I can't cast the stone. I can stop someone from doing something, but I can't judge them from doing what they're doing because I refuse to cast that stone. I refuse to cast that stone, man. They cast that stone at my Lord, man. They cast stones at my Lord that He did not deserve. He got cast with our stones. He got cast with our stones, you guys. He got cast with our wrongness, our sexual immorality. He got cast with our death. He got all the punishment of us just so we can live. He loves you more than you can even fathom. Because he took, just think about it, man. He was there with him in the beginning. The father had sent him down here to get slayed. Who knows that they tell their son to go and they go and they tell him to come and he come, and you know that if you tell your son to go out this door, he's gonna get shot as soon as he walk out that door. How many people is gonna tell their son to walk out their door? I ain't telling you no reason, because physically, who will tell his son? Who will put up their son to die for 5 people to get out of prison? Huh? Murderers, killers, all this. I'm telling you, my Lord died for it all. He died for everyone. He died for you to repent, but he died for the living. He died for the living. And he preaching to the dead. Oh, glory be to the Lord. They said that that's why it's been. When I heard that, I said, man, they're preaching to the dead, Lord. And then I had to think about it. Oh, we the dead they're preaching to. We're still in our mother's womb. We're still developing. We will not see the real light until the Lord either comes back or until we be born into our new light. Physically, this is the way, this is the route to take. And you might be like, why? Man, it's a bunch of reasons I can give you normally to do right for people. For the reasons that why your community should be up. Why everyone should have. Because if everyone has, who would it be to not have? Think about it. If we wasn't trying to profit, how much can we give? If we wasn't trying to manipulate, how much can we make? Now physically, man, if people thought like this, man, but you got to understand that people, well, what the Lord had to got me to understand that people got to come to this their self. That people got to physically come to this their self. And that's where I'm in y'all at. And I love you guys, my beloveds. I appreciate y'all. And this is either for this generation or future generations. If anyone hears this, the Lord loves you and he's going to come back. And don't forget, even if you left behind, that you still have a chance to be saved. Don't give up. Don't turn away. Blessed be. Thank you, Yeshua. We will praise his name, and we will glorify the King. Oh, he's the King of kings. Oh, I will praise his name. I will praise his name. I will glorify the King of kings. He is my Father. He is the head of my life. Oh, and I will follow him with my cross. Oh, if I can't carry it, he's gonna help me carry it. Oh, and he's so powerful, he will carry me in that cross. Oh, carry me in that cross. Oh, carry me in that cross. Oh, glory, King of kings. Thank you, Yahweh.